I also watched Ghosts on a. I've been watching it on Fubu TV. That's I got like a free trial. I just want to check it out just for that show.
What's Fubu? Is that one of the like you can watch but with commercials
Yeah,
or
there's commercials,
okay.
but there's it's like a streaming service like YouTube TV, Hulu. Um, and the NBA Finals is on right now, so I've been watching on that too. But Ghosts is pretty good. I like it. It's a fun little, every episode is just about one of the ghost characters having something come up from their past or something or whatever. It's just silly like that. But I do get kind of taken out of this show just because like it's a diverse cast of ghosts,
Right.
and I'm like, that Victorian age lady should be foaming at the mouth, rabidly yelling the N word at the other lady.
Honestly, I haven't seen this show, but that would be more interesting to me, and it would be more realistic.
Yeah.
Of like all these ghosts with like very different like personalities, grew up in different areas. Like, of course, like some of those ghosts are going to be racist.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are all perfectly okay with each other, just love each other just fine. But I'm like, man, I mean, I guess, look, what they leave out of the show is how long they've actually, gotten to know each other. Like, probably they've been there for centuries or whatever.
They got over the racism
Yeah.
eventually.
It just takes a few hundred years. But I mean, it's just to me, it's like everything's so honky dory. Like as soon as it starts, the show. She sees ghosts. They're all friendly. They all know each other.
So yeah, I haven't seen it, but yeah, to me it would be much more interesting if there was some tension there.
Yeah,
It seems like it.
yeah. I mean, that's my only gripe with that show. Otherwise, it's fine. I like it.
So I know like this is like an American remake of a British show. You've seen some of both, haven't you? Or
No, I haven't seen the British one.
oh, I haven't seen the British one.
Yeah.
I always wonder because like if the British version's better.
I mean, I don't know. The Office America did better. And Friends, the British tried to remake that, and it wasn't as good either.
I saw a couple episodes of the British Office, and like it was okay, but I never went back to it, so I can't really say for sure like if it's superior or anything. But it seems like most people. Well, I don't know about most people, but the American Office I think is one of those things that maybe surpassed.
I think so. And Ricky Gervais was asked about that too. Like, what do you think about the American version being more successful than the UK version? And he has his like, kind of, hey, what the hell are you talking about, man? I made this show, but yeah, there is that kind of sentiment out there that it is more popular. And I think Steve Carell just, he was perfect for that role.
Yeah. Yeah, the seasons with him are like great, and then after that, like you might find a winner every now and again, but quality goes downhill
Yeah.
substantially.
Yeah.
It's funny. We were talking maybe like last week or the week before about how shows, especially in America, just go on too long,
Right.
and they get weak, and like I feel like sometimes in other countries like Britain and even some of these like Korean shows, like they got the other problem where sometimes I think they close up shop too early, and you're like, oh, it maybe would have been interesting to do a little bit more of that, but they just like do like almost. I think British shows, even like the British Office, I think is maybe like 3 seasons.
Oh, okay.
Like they don't stay in it as long as America does.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I do think they should have with the good shows, you should try it. I mean,
I feel like maybe 5 seasons is like the sweet spot.
yeah, yeah.
Anything more usually goes down in quality, and sometimes anything less, you think you maybe didn't get enough.
I could have watched more Sherlock. Sherlock was fun.
I agree, actually. Yeah, Sherlock's. Yeah, I think that's one that went 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Of course, it's weird because each episode's almost like a mini movie. It's like an hour and a half long.
Yeah.
So longer episodes. But yeah, I did like Sherlock.
Yeah, that was fun.
I just like those like British mystery shows. And that maybe they should just reboot Sherlock, do some more with somebody else.
I wish they would.
I think it is one of those properties that you can reboot forever.
Yeah, I mean, Benedict Cumberbatch probably is too big for the show now, but
Probably.
yeah. I mean, he was fun while it lasted, I guess. I wish it was back.
Yeah, that was a solid show. I
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
You watch anything else?
No, not really. Just pretty much that.
Well, speaking of shows that went on too long, I think we talked about this the other week too. But AJ, another one bites the dust. I could have successfully watched all 9 seasons of The Flash.
Oh boy.
I put another one to bed.
All right, let's talk about this because I heard things about the season finale where people were not happy. The series finale. Like I heard they focused too much on like another character instead of the Flash. Was it Iris's old boyfriend? He became like the blue something. Or...
Oh yeah, he was in it. I didn't mind that. They really like. I think they wanted to try to get a lot of like people that had been on the show before, like get him some cameos, this season. And I didn't mind that guy at all. I mean, I don't know. Definitely, the season is more in line with the more recent seasons than earlier. So it focuses a lot more on the new cast members that they've added over the last couple seasons, and I think overall they're probably just not as compelling.
Right. Okay.
But and also like I don't know. Did you watch long enough to get to that Cecile character? Which
yeah.
She gets in a relationship.
She's
with,
like she has prescience or something.
Yeah. She's like an empath. She can kind of like read people's emotions.
Okay.
And then she also eventually, like in this last season, she gets like telekinetic abilities.
Oh wow, that works.
And so I think
She got Cisco Ramon's powers.
I think some people think like maybe the show started to focus like maybe like too much on her.
Oh, okay.
Maybe some of the side characters and less on the Flash, which I get, but I don't know. To me, like, this was not the worst season of The Flash. Like, there was a season, like, a couple seasons ago that probably was.
Okay.
But still, yeah, like, you don't have Cisco. I kind of thought, too, like, because in the season finale, they roped in a lot of, past people. I thought, certainly they'll get Cisco for a cameo, but he was, like, the holdout.
He was the fun one.
I know, he was the holdout. He didn't show up, which kind of surprised me.
That sucks.
But, still overall, of the CW superhero shows that I've watched, I think despite the lack of, lessening quality, because they all kind of have that as they go on, I think still The Flash overall is my favorite one of them.
Okay.
I mean, there's still a couple more that I got to get through.
Mm-hmm.
But, I think Flash is up there. I mean, just the high bar, like the high quality of those first 2 seasons, I think gives it a boost.
Okay.
And then I just saw today, this is hot off the presses, some other CW news, which actually we kind of called this like a week or so ago. So Superman and Lois is going to be renewed for one more season, so it'll have a 4th season. And then that Gotham Knights show, to nobody's surprise, is Dunzo.
That had like 1 season, right?
Yeah, 1 season, and apparently, like, it's bad.
Okay.
But still, part of me is like, do I have to cross that off my list eventually?
Really? You would go through that?
Maybe. I mean, I did sign that deal with the devil where I'm supposed to watch them
all of the DC content.
But man, just the prospect of watching that, I'm like, ugh.
That's, yeah.
Maybe I got to break this deal and just go to hell. And then the only other thing I watched was every once in a while I like to watch like an old black and white like crime noir type of movie. And there's like this really famous one that I'd never watched called Out of the Past, which stars Robert Mitchum and Kirk Douglas. So basically the plot of it is basically like this guy, he wants... I think he was like a detective, but he ended up doing a job for like a mobster where like this mobster's girlfriend like shot him and like fled. And so he goes to track her down. And so he goes and like they kind of fall in love with each other and have like this short affair, right? But then like that ends up not working out. And then so the story picks up years later. He's like now trying to get by just a simple life, like he owns like a gas station, you know. But this guy that used to like run with that mobster like sees him or whatever, or sees his place, and like he's like, the mobster guy wants you to do another job, for him. So he's like, oh, okay, he's got to do it, So he finds out that the woman, the girlfriend he tracked down before, basically ended up back with the mobster. And so he sends him on this other job that ends up, she gets involved with it. She's like the femme fatale of this whole story, And within it, like, they try to frame him for murder.
Oh, wow.
And, like most crime noirs, like, it eventually does not go well. But both Robert Mitchum and Kirk Douglas are in it, so it's just maybe the most ass chins in a movie.
I had a cousin with one of those who call it a booty chin. I didn't know. Right. Other people call it that too.
Well, I don't know if you've ever seen that Jim Carrey movie, Me, Myself, and Irene.
Oh, right.
He's got one of those, and that's what they call it on there. So that's where I picked it up from. But yeah, that movie, it was good. I don't know if, to me, it's like a classic, like must watch, but it's not bad if anyone's looking for a crime noir. Speaking of like the ass chin thing, it always reminds me of so it would have been like maybe Arrow season 1. That actress that plays the Black Canary, like she's really cute, but she's got the ass chin.
Oh, right.
And I was just like, I remember there's this scene where like her sister, like at that point, doesn't know that she's the Black Canary. Mm-hmm. So like her and her sister as Black Canary, like get pinned down in the police station because there's like snipers outside or something, right? So like the whole like episode long, they're having conversations. And eventually at some point, like her sister's like, you remind me a lot of my sister. and all she has is like the domino mask. So a part of me is just like waiting for her to go, for example, you guys sound identical and you have the same ass chin. The very distinct ass chin.
That's always so hard to believe, man. For sure you would recognize. Look, if your brother Lester was wearing a mask, like it would be so obvious.
That's the thing about the domino mask is they look cool, but they're ridiculous.
Yeah.
The mere like thought that would obscure somebody's identity is just the most ridiculous.
Yeah.
And that's another thing between like a comic book and live action, where is if I'm reading a comic book and someone's wearing a domino mask, for some reason it doesn't really bother me. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's because you're not like hearing their voices or something, but when I see it in live action like that, I'm immediately like, there's no way.
Yeah.
I don't know why there's that disconnect. I mean, it's just as ridiculous in the comics, but for some reason when I'm reading it in a comic, it doesn't really bother me that way. But when you put it together in a live action scenario, you're like, oh, this is ridiculous, and they should have just gave her like a full face mask.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I think live action, like, there's more details involved. It just gives it away more, Like, you see in a comic, you're not picking up on all the little stuff, But, like, yeah, in the live action, the hair, the way the person stands, the way the person does anything, like, it's all, you can't fake it. Like,
I mean, realistically, even seeing, like, Batman's, like, lower jaw, somebody that knows him would put it together.
Yeah.
But like, that's at least with his mask, you can at least, like, buy in enough to be like, okay, I can buy it. But when someone's just wearing a domino mask, you're like, your brain just cannot compute it. But they look cool. They do look cool. Maybe we should just like start wearing domino masks.
Get recognized by everybody.
It's a fashion statement. I always thought it would be fun to like start wearing capes around too. Fancy capes.
That would be cool, actually. Just be the guy who's wearing the cape all the time. You go into the office just wearing a cape, that's all.
Probably would get cumbersome after a while. You'd look cool.
Car doors would be your worst enemy, probably.
That's true. Nemesis. Maybe you'd have to go with like the shorter cape, like maybe it goes just down to your mid back or something.
Like a backwards bib.